Church here, and welcome to the Game Grinder, and today we're doing an unboxing video, and much like my last couple unboxing videos, as I said, it's kind of unfortunate that there's so many collector's editions landing at the same time, but hey, what a nice problem to have, right? And what better unboxing video to do than one of the most anticipated games of 2021, and as the title states, that is for the Resident Evil Village Collector's Edition. Now, it's kind of weird that I will say that they're calling it Resident Evil Village and not Resident Evil 8 Village, but the 8 is incorporated into the title, so not really sure what that's about. Neat little twist on the name and the numbering scheme there, I guess, especially being a mainline Resident Evil game. And I have pretty high hopes for this one. Now, before we get to the unboxing, just kind of want to share some of my thoughts on Resident Evil in general. Now, I absolutely love the Resident Evil series. Been a big fan since day one, played the original Resident Evil, played all Resident Evil games. I have the entire Resident Evil library. But there was a good few years there where I was pretty disappointed in some of the releases. This might not be popular opinion by any means, but I did not like Resident Evil 5 as a Resident Evil game. It was fine as it was. I definitely did not like Resident Evil 6. And then Resident Evil 7 had a collector's edition that I had considered, but it's like, the last two games were kind of stinkers. Wasn't going to take the risk of buying a collector's edition for a game that could have been garbage. And pleasantly surprised, they really redeemed themselves with Resident Evil 7. They kind of changed up the formula, shifting to the first person. The game felt very Resident Evil. And here's hoping they continue with that with Resident Evil Village. I've kind of did some media blackout stuff, but it's kind of hard to avoid some of the memes surrounding the game. Primarily with a tall vampire lady, or Lady Demiscu, I think is her name. But also, along with this release of Resident Evil, this is in line with a couple other recent Resident Evil Collector's Editions, following up Resident Evil 2 Remake and Resident Evil 3 Remake in a very similar style Collector's Edition. So they're kind of hitting the main characters, so I decided to go ahead and pick up this Collector's Edition. Alright, so let's go ahead and check out the box before we crack this open. So, of course, there on the front, Resident Evil Village Collector's Edition. Kind of like a mock handle on the top. Feet of a case on the bottom, I guess. And then sides, not much to look at. And then the back is what this comes with. So let me go ahead and take off the slipcover, and we can check out the premium packaging as they have it labeled. Alright, and here we go. Premium packaging, everybody. So this looks like a basically a storage chest, just like the last two Resident Evil Collector's Editions. Not a whole lot to really take away from this, but yeah, premium packaging. I'm not even gonna do close-up shots of this or anything. Let's go ahead and crack it open. All right, so first up here, of course, with any good Collector's Edition, as it should be, is the game is included, and the game is inside of the Collector's Edition instead of outside of the Collector's Edition, which sounds like a very odd complaint, but I don't know. I don't know about the rest of you. I think a Collector's Edition should include the game in the package. Otherwise, it's kind of like a thing. It's just a thing. It's not like a game Collector's Edition. Whatever. But Resident Evil Village, PlayStation 4. Now, I did want to get this on the PlayStation 5, but as soon as I found out that the Collector's Edition was available for pre-order, the PlayStation 5 version was already sold out. But fortunately, if you have the PlayStation 4 version, you install it on a PlayStation 5, you automatically get a free upgrade to the PlayStation 5 version. So, not really upset about that, with that being considered. But yes, and this is the Deluxe Edition, which comes with a few extra DLC items, I think, just like the last two Resident Evil remakes. And then next up here, we have a steelbook, and it has some imagery there on the front that I don't exactly know what that represents, but I'm sure we'll find out once we play the game. Of course, there on the spine, Resident Evil Village, and on the back, nothing too interesting, just the border designs. Kind of looks like a book. Looks cool enough, I guess. And then nothing on the inside, so kind of missed opportunity there, perhaps, but hey, can't go wrong with the steelbook. All right, and then next up is a cloth map, which, you know, I think a lot more collector's editions need to include cloth maps. Just in general, I think they're kind of cool. Perfectly fits along with the game, the soundtrack, the steelbook, and art book. You know, let's do more maps. Cloth maps are just kind of, a little step up from the paper maps, but not gonna focus too much on what's going on here, just to, I guess, kind of avoid spoilers of some sort. And then on the back, it looks like have the very similar logo as the Steelbook, and then it says Resident Evil Village there. And then, as I mentioned, the next item here is the Resident Evil Village Traveler's Record, or an art book. It's basically an art book. Again, it might be kind of hard to see here, but there is the whatever that logo is, or emblem. And then as it goes, I'm assuming, as per usual, it's production art, concept, designs, all that fun stuff. Not really going to look at this in depth, as, again, kind of avoiding spoilers. So this will be revisited after I finish the game. And then, before we get to the final item, there is a box within a box, and that is the Resident Evil Village statue that this comes with. So let me go ahead and open this up. We'll check it out. All right, and then we have the Chris Redfield statue that comes along with the Resident Evil Village Collector's Edition. Now, like I said, this is very similar to two previous Resident Evil Collector's Editions, the Resident Evil 2 Remake, Resident Evil 3 Remake, and both of those included very similar statues like this, including their respective main characters. So Resident Evil 2 Remake came with Leon, Resident Evil 3 Remake came with Jill, now we have Chris. This is the new, I guess, style of Chris, not the muscle-bound beast that we've seen in previous games. We got a little glimpse of Chris. We played some DLC of him in Resident Evil 7, but previously he was super jacked, able to punch boulders, which that's when Resident Evil got really ridiculous. So I'm glad they're kind of dialing it back, and now he's like a little darker. Don't want to go as far as calling him like edgy Chris, but maybe we can call him edgy Chris or emo Chris. I don't know. We'll find out. But as per the other ones, this is pretty well designed, very detailed. On the base here, it has Chris Redfield and some sort of emblem that I'm not sure exactly what that is. I'm sure it's whatever the organization he is involved with now, which I can't remember if they said what that was at the end of Resident Evil 7 or if something had changed between the two games. I guess we'll find out when we play the game. But yeah, everything looks pretty good. His jacket there is textured and nicely detailed. He's not really super tactical, with hip holsters and leg holsters and all that stuff, but he does come with a silenced pistol of some sort there. And yeah, just not a whole lot to say about his design here, but the statue itself looks really good. Chris himself is pretty solid, pretty hefty statue. The bases are a little lighter and hollow, but suffice for what they are. And like the last two, I gotta say, I'm pretty happy with the quality of these. And like I said, I hope they continue to do these and we get a Jill statue so I can have the whole main cast. Alright, so that is the Resident Evil Village Collector's Edition. So of course, as always, I would love to hear your thoughts. Did anybody else pick up this Collector's Edition? Who is playing Resident Evil Village? I know I'm a couple days late here, as my Collector's Edition didn't arrive until the day before I recorded this video. Late, GameStop never seems to do release day delivery when you pre-order things online. But it is what it is. And for those who have started the game, what are your initial impressions? Are you looking forward to Resident Evil Village if you haven't played it yet? I know I am. Like I said, I was very pleasantly surprised with Resident Evil 7, so hoping they can keep that up. And then, of course, let me know your thoughts about this Collector's Edition. This one, hits basically all the staples. You get your game, you get your statue, you get your art book. Although Resident Evil games never seem to include soundtracks, but then again, a lot of the soundtracks aren't really super memorable, not knocking Resident Evil soundtracks, but they're more background music. But that tends to be more kind of like how modern games are. But then we got the cloth map, which is, that's kind of cool. Steelbook and whatnot. So yeah, definitely let me know your thoughts. And then as always, thank you very much for watching, and I will talk to you next time on the Game Grinder.